Yes, 2 minutes gone past 7 a.m. this beautiful Friday morning. It is the sixth day in the month of December 2024, and thank God it's Friday. All right, that's always the energy. Yes, every Friday. And you know what? Happy weekend, because the weekend is finally here. I'm super duper excited, not because I get to rest after today, but again, the special feeling and energy that actually comes to the weekend is one that you really cannot explain. I don't know about you. So here I am, wishing you the very best of the weekend, and to the weekenders, happy weekend to you. Well, of course, it is a beautiful Friday morning. Of course, we started on a very cold note this morning, but let's see what the midday actually holds for us. And my name is Omoefe Peace Osemere, welcoming you officially to the Eagles Morning Rise breakfast show right here, packed with a lot just for your listening pleasure. Right, the Eagles Morning Rise, like would always say, is your early morning booster, just the right dose or proportion that you need to kickstart your day on a positive note. Right, so I'd like to quickly let you in on the fact that we are streaming at the moment. Yes, so hurry now to Facebook, hurry now to YouTube, because we are streaming across these platforms at Eagles FM Abuja. But you might also want to check us out, on Instagram as well. We are on X, formerly Twitter, and also TikTok, all at Eagles FM Abuja. But at the moment, we're just streaming on Facebook and YouTube. So I encourage you now to, hurry to Facebook, go on to YouTube. Subscribe to our channel is very, very important. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. All right, drop a comment, and also download our videos and share them. You can do same on Facebook. Give us a like, give us a follow. All right, like our content, and also share them. Drop a comment as well. That way I'll know that you actually stopped by, and I will be right here to acknowledge your messages. Kennedy Ingi, he says, thank God it's Friday, happy weekend to you all. King Kennedy from Cairo, thank you so much. You see what I'm talking about? You all have been, you've been the real MVPs, honestly, and I really cannot even stress that enough. The fact that you always come through for us is something we don't take for granted. So what are you waiting for? Hurry now to Facebook and YouTube at Eagles FM Abuja, so you can see my face at least. Yes, and our state of the art studio. It's no news. The reports actually have been in circulation that Eagles FM has one of the best studios in the nation's capital. You can take that to the bank. Yes, and if you are in doubt, we've got a hangout coming up on the 20th of this month, so you might just want to peep to see what we have going on here. But if you are in doubt, if you are a doubting Thomas, hurry now to these platforms, Facebook and YouTube, to see for yourself. And for a fact that I am not just, bragging. But if I have to brag, I think we've got a right. All right. And I would do that proudly. My name is Omoefe Peace Osemere, and from all indication, I will be riding solo this beautiful Friday morning on the Eagles Morning Rise. And just to let you know that the Eagles Morning Rise is like a truckload of goodies, packed for your listening pleasure. This hour, we get to take a look at the front pages of Nigerian newspapers. You definitely would call in to share your thoughts, and of course at the 8 o'clock hour, you can trust Vicky Vic. Honestly, that guy, I love his energy, the way he brings you guys up to speed on the latest happenings, and the way you also call in to share your thoughts. I really cannot even explain how I feel about that energy, but thank you so much. But bear in mind that Sports on Eagles Wings, is actually built for 8 a.m. this morning. And of course, the final hour of the Eagles Morning Rise would be the Eagles Outlook, where we will be here to talk, politics and current affairs. And as a matter of fact, we understand that there's been a continued surge, spike or increase, if you like, in the price or prices of, medicines or drugs, if you like. And one would begin to wonder, should we now shift away from normal medicines or drugs, or English drugs, if you like to call it that way, to traditional medicine? Because whether we like it or not, traditional medicine is is quite cheaper compared to the normal conventional medicine. All right. And The recent price surge, has led many people to seek alternative forms of healthcare. Traditional medicine, which has been practiced for centuries, is one of such alternatives. But is it really safe? Is it safe? Is it a better alternative? We're going to be having this conversation with a pharmaceutical industry expert, all right, at the 9 o'clock hour. And I encourage you really to call in at that time as well to share your 2 cents. And you know what? It does not end there. I mean, at the 10 o'clock hour will be the midday extra, and you can trust, Cassandra to be right here to do justice to that. All right, on my way to the office this morning, I actually observed, something on my way. I mean, coming from the Karo axis of Abuja. Now, I don't know if the truck, that actually broke down the road has been, taken off the road, but as early as to 6 a.m. this morning, the truck actually broke down on the road. Maybe late in the night yesterday or early this morning. I really cannot tell, because I was too scared to even tell the driver to stop. Let me, interrogate, the officers that were on the road. But of course, they were on ground, to just, how will I put it now? Direct motorists, on the right, way to follow. But there is a particular lane has already been blocked, and this is definitely going to bring about some sort of gridlock. And the population of people trooping into, the city center from the Maraba, Yanya, Karu axis. So it's going to be quite a hectic Friday morning for road users. I want to encourage you to be patient, because these things are not really orchestrated. They're not deliberate, right? It's obviously an accident. So you just have to wear your coat of patience before leaving your homes or your houses this morning. And if you're still in bed and you're listening, I think it's about time for you to get off the bed and hit the road, because it's going to be a long Friday morning for people coming from that axis. But again, this is a wake-up call to the relevant stakeholders, to the Federal Road Safety Corps and what have you. When trucks or vehicles break down on, major roads like this, it shouldn't even take hours before you guys tow these vehicles off the roads, because at the end of the day, the implication will be the fact that there will be gridlock. All right, and it's going to make life quite difficult, for road users. And is this really a good way to start the day? The answer is no. So to the road safety, Corps and other, stakeholders, maybe sister agencies that are, responsible for issues like this, please hurry now and get the truck off the road, so that people would actually find it easy to navigate and also go about the day's activities or business, if you like. And that being said, before now, we have been heavy on the crusade, where we get to encourage and also to not warn, but just to bring to your notice and also caution. I think caution would be the right word to use now, to caution people against bush burning. Now, the fire service has actually taken up, the crusade, and it's really, really, good to know that they are also heavy on this crusade. Now, they've actually, warned Nigerians to avoid bush burning, especially at this point in time. Yes, this actually happened in Niger State, but of course, the wake-up call continues here in Abuja and across, the states, of the Federation, that Nigerians should please desist from indiscriminate bush burning, to prevent incessant fire outbreaks in the country during the Harmattan season. And it's also important for you to put off your electrical appliances before you leave your homes. Yes, because of cases of power surge here and there. At the same time, it's really very heartbreaking. I don't know, some of you must have, may have observed rather, that I've really not been talking about, this open end to open defecation, crusade. And that's not because I forgot about it, but it's really exhausting and quite tiring when you say same thing over and over. And I also understand that we have to continue this crusade until we get it right. But it really breaks my heart that, almost on a daily basis, when I step out of my house, right, be it on my way to the office or to the market or to the church or wherever, I still come back. I still see people who defecate openly, who urinate openly, and even indiscriminately. Like, It's really very disturbing, and I'm not trying to be gender biased, but this is more like a typical or a normal thing for the male gender. I'm not trying to be gender biased now. Please don't get me wrong and don't get it twisted. But it's quite convenient, it's beginning to look like it's a very convenient, thing for the male gender to do. You can just, do your thing along the road. It makes no sense. We can't afford to be moving or walking, on the street, and then we are perceiving this very awful smell. It makes no sense. There are toilets, there are public toilets across, the city and the country. All you have to do is to pay a little token, shikini money, I think 100 naira or 150 naira. That wouldn't be too much, because you also have people like you whose responsibility would be to clean up these spaces. So if you're paying 100,000 naira, 100 naira, or if you're charged 150 naira, that is not too much, in all fairness, to people whose responsibility would be to clean up the spaces. So please, let's say no to open defecation, all right? And let's always do the right thing. Those of you that are fond of trashing or dumping refuse, indiscriminately as well, please say no to that. It makes no sense. Nigeria is a great country and not a dumping ground. It's not a dustbin, right? It is a country, a great country at that, blessed with natural resources. So, as a civilized people, let us behave accordingly. It is very, very important. Say no to one-way driving. And again, talking about one-way driving, that might be the trend or the norm this morning, especially from the Yanya Maraba Karu axis into the city center. And that's because of, the truck that broke down. But if we have a situation where the relevant stakeholders are proactive, as soon as these things actually happen, they receive a call and they go tow these trucks or vehicles that already broke down on the road, there won't be need for people to use one way. But this is not to justify the fact that people would have to use one way this morning. All right, let's just do the right thing. I think that is what just would summarize the early morning crusade that I'm actually on. We are on this morning. That being said, I'd like to quickly bring you up to speed on 10 things that you need to know for today, Friday morning. The first thing will be the fact that senators will uphold the yearnings of Nigerians in their deliberations and passage of the tax reform bill, as Senate President Godswill Akpabio said on Thursday. He also went further to challenge, governors, traditional rulers, and other categories of Nigerians who have misgivings to attend, the public hearing to air their grievances. The second thing you need to know for today would be the fact that Amnesty International has said that at least 10,000 people have died in military custody since the Boko Haram conflict in northeast Nigeria began. Speaking at a press conference on Thursday, the country director of the human rights organization, Malam Isa Sanusi, said they were in Maiduguri to remind the government of the need for justice. Now, Max Air, bound for Abuja, made an emergency landing back at Muhammadu Buhari International Airport, Maiduguri, on Wednesday after its engine damaged following a suspected bird strike. Now, officials actually reported that that incident, and Borno State Deputy Governor Alhaji Umar Usman Kadafor was among the over 100 passengers that escaped death and successfully landed in the airport. Now, the good people of the Lord will say hallelujah, and I definitely will ring the bell. Moving on, scores of retired military personnel on Thursday stormed the headquarters of the Federal Ministry of Finance and shut down the place over non-payment of their entitlements by the government. The retirees who arrived at, the protesting ground with sleeping mats, chairs, and canopies accused the federal government of not paying them a 20% to 28% salary, a 28% salary increment from January to November 2024. I recall very clearly that yesterday evening, while deliberating on what to discuss on Eagle's Outlook this morning, I had quite a candid conversation with my colleague and also my co-host Uduak Daniel yesterday evening with regards to this particular subject matter, where military personnel, retired military personnel who may have served this country, gallantly in their own way, they are being owed, salaries and, entitlement by the government to the extent that they had to protest. They even went to the protesting venue or ground with sleeping mats. It's quite laughable, but at the same time, it is shameful. All right. But anyhow, we're going to keep our fingers crossed and wait for, update. And this perhaps will give us something to chew on, in the week to come. Now, gunmen suspected to be bandits reportedly attacked Jumei Kefas, the mother of Taraba State Governor Abu Kefas, along with her daughter Atsi Kefas. Now, the attacks, which occurred on Thursday, reportedly took place along Kente Road in Wukari Local Government Council of the state. Operatives of the Rivers State Police Command have foiled a kidnap attempt and killed a wanted kidnapper, Ikem Thangod, popularly known as General Tuman. It was gathered that Tuman is a notorious cultist who is a leader of the Greenland Cult Group, reportedly known for kidnapping and armed robbery in Ahoada East and West local government areas of the state. That is actually a step in the right direction. Now, the Labour Party caucus in the House of Representatives lost 4 of its members to the ruling All Progressives Congress on Thursday, and the lawmakers who left Labour Party for APC are Tochukwu Okere in Imo, Donatus Matthew Kaduna, Basi Akiba Cross River, and Iyawe Esosa Edo. All right. The Special Advisor on Information and Strategy to President Bola Tinubu, Mr. Bayo Onanuga, has said work is currently ongoing at the 150,000 barrels per day plant of the Port Harcourt Refining Company in Rivers State. Onanuga also said the 60,000 billion barrels per day refinery is operating at 70% of installed capacity and plans to increase production shortly. The ninth thing you need to know for today would be the fact that Governor Nasir Idris of Kebbi State has appointed 200 youth of All Progressives Congress APC as a special assistants. Now, presenting the offer to the beneficiaries, comprising males and females at the APC Secretariat in Brenin, Kebbi on Thursday, the party chairman in Kebbi, Alhaji Abubakar Kana Zuru, said the party was proud of the governor. And the last thing you need to know for this morning will be the fact that Anambra Command of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, has detained 6 persons for alleged illegal mining in the state. NSCDC's commandant in the state, Olatunde Maku, who said this on Thursday in Oka, said the suspects were apprehended and detained at Odele, Aguleri, Anambra East local government area. Well, there you have it on 10 things you need to know this Friday morning. Now, real quick, let's take a look at the front pages of Nigerian newspapers to see what the national dailies are reporting. And again, if you're yet to join us on Facebook and YouTube, hurry now to YouTube and Facebook because we are streaming live across these platforms. Check us out at Eagles FM Abuja. Eagles FM Abuja on YouTube and Facebook. Now, I've got the Daily Trust newspaper, The Guardian, the Nigerian Tribune, the Punch newspaper, and the Vanguard newspaper this morning to take a look at. Now, we'll be starting off with the Daily Trust newspaper. And on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper, the big news story on the front page, written in black on a white spread, it says, Reps move to stop multiple budgets. Reps move to stop multiple budgets. And right underneath it says propose a deadline for presentation. You find that big news story on page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. And just above it, you have this one talking about the tax reform bills. It says, we are going ahead for Nigeria's sake. Akpabio talking there, and details on page 12. Moving on to page 16, if I'm not mistaken, Islam not against girl-child education. Now, this statement is credited to the Sultan of Sokoto. He says Islam is not against girl-child education. All right, and moving on to page 6, Mark's airplane carrying Zulum's deputy. Others makes emergency landing. And then you have photographs right here on the front page, right, of the Guardian newspaper talking about, the retired military personnel who actually staged, a protest yesterday, right, at the Ministry of Finance, begging them to please release funds for, their overdue, and unpaid entitlements. You see some of them, lying on the ground, and some of them seated, elderly men and women right there. But like I said before, it may be laughable to you, but at the same time, shameful. Now, this one here on page 5 says ex-servicemen shot finance ministry over unpaid entitlement. That's right. And moving on to page 3, I thought I was Jukun, says Tanko Yakasai at 99. I thought I was Jukun. What does Jukun mean? I don't know, but you might want to take a look at that one. It's on page 3. And then moving on to page 7, man breaks wife's hand, leg for attending clinic without permission. Now, this is really disturbing. Man breaks his wife's hand and leg for attending clinic without permission. Maybe that way she won't see the legs to go, for another, appointment at the hospital. But come on, while it's okay for you as a woman or the wife, to always intimate your husband on your whereabouts, is it really enough for you to now break your wife's hand and leg? Is this born out of frustration? Or is this also as a result of poverty and hunger? Do you break your wife's hand and leg? All right, I'll leave you to, to ponder over that. But it definitely would be a good read. And you'll find it on page 17 of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. And moving on to page 30, corruption has brought Nigeria to its knees. ICPC talking there. All right, I'll leave it there real quick for the Daily Trust newspaper. Now let's take a quick look at the Guardian. On the front page of the Guardian newspaper, obviously leading differently from the Daily Trust, it leads with National Health and Demography Survey as the kicker. Spike in teenage pregnancy stirs dire public health and social concerns. Spike in teenage pregnancy stirs dire public health and social concerns. All right. And you find that one. That's the big story on pages 4 and 5 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Labour Party fumes, vows legal action as 4 lawmakers defect to the All Progressives Congress. Details on page 6. Detained Okwama president died in military facility. You find that one on page 29 of the Guardian newspaper. Ibru, Army Chief, advocates military media partnership on security. Details on page 7. Moving on to page 3. Politics, corruption, bane of education in Nigeria, says TEDFund boss. You find that one on page 3. And still on page 3, 2027, that is the kicker. Jonathan's campaign posters flood Kano. But come on, isn't it too early to start politicking? But that's also on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. And then on page 6, Akpabio counters Barau, insists tax bills on course despite opposition. On page 28, activists seek bail for Farotimi, fault police involvement. Moving on to page 15, Nigeria's budget under threat as OPEC extends production cut. Moving on to page 29, federal government opens probe panel as fire guts NSIPA warehouse and power tools. All right, that's a page 29 read this morning on the Guardian newspaper. The Nigerian Tribune newspaper leads differently now. It leads with blackout as the kicker. Gencos, TCN, Discos in trouble. 2 riders or 3 underneath it. The first one says, as Senate threatens to reverse privatization of sector. The second rider says, accuses them of adding no value. And the last rider says, lament each grid collapse cost $25 million to restart. I'd like to take that again. Each grid collapse costs $25 million to restart. You find that one on page 17 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Borno Deputy Governor, over 100 others escape plane accident. Details on page 12. And then federal government launches 20 billion naira consumer credit fund for locally assembled automobiles. Details on page 2. Moving on to page 3, tax reform bills. We won't suspend legislative action. This is coming from the Senate. And right underneath it says, Akpabio overrules deputy on composition of ad hoc committee. Moving back to page 2, PDP chair BOT insists on zoning office to North Central. Two riders underneath it. The first one says, wants zonal leaders to replace RU. And then the second rider says, a further delay of NEC meeting undermines trust. That's on page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Ibori's daughter, 4 Labour Party federal lawmakers defect to APC. You find that on page 17. And moving on to page 27, court OK's probe of funds allocated to 17 local government areas in Abia from 2019 to 2023. On page 7, NEPC frowns on $480 million expenditure on importation of 3 million tons of rice. All right, that's just about it for the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Now let's take a quick look at the Punch. The Punch newspaper leads with 29 states spent 2 trillion naira on travels. Others, this is according to a report. Right underneath it says state government borrowed 533 billion naira, generated 1.92 trillion naira IGR, serviced debt worth 658 billion naira. All of that on page 2 of the Punch newspaper this morning. And just above the Punch logo, tax reform. Senate denies suspending debate as Southern senators meet. Details on page 2. Moving on to page 11. APC berates faction flooding Kano with Jonathan's 2027 posters. All right. And then on page 10, PDP trustees tackle NWC over NEC meet Wike January. Still on the Punch newspaper, military retirees short finance ministry over unpaid entitlement. You find that one on page 28. And then overtime vehicles. Customs plan auction after 2-week ultimatum. You find that one on page 19. Moving on to pages 4 and 5. No report of Lagos missing party girls. This is coming from the police. And then on page 28, Amnesty alleges 10,000 die in Nigerian military detention. That's just about it for the Punch newspaper this morning. The Vanguard newspaper will be the last, newspaper to take a look at. And of course, the big news story on the front page says tax reform bills, Akpabio overrules Barao. Now this comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 riders underneath that headline. The first one says bills not withdrawn or suspended. The second rider says vows Senate won't be intimidated by external pressures. The third rider says Senate removes Mongunu from committee. And the fourth one says South senators back bills, pass confidence vote in Akpabio. The fifth one says reform must enjoy political, technocratic acceptability. Fire-me talking there. And the last rider says ROI youth call northern elites bluff, declare support for reform. You find all of that this morning on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. And then this one here says how we tackled 97% OML 17 oil theft. Elumelu talking there, and you find that one on page 8. Moving on to page 9, 4 Labour Party reps decamp to APC. On page 9 as well, PDP crisis, BOT decries shift of NEC meeting. Right underneath it says asks North Central to nominate RU's replacement. Moving to page 22, Nedzens, on board a mainstream energy solution for Nigeria's carbon registry. And then moving on to page 9, 2027, that is the kicker. Jonathan's posters with new political platform flood Kano. All right. And then just above the Vanguard logo, OPEC extends Nigeria's 1.5 million barrels per day oil quota to 2026. Details on page 19. Moving on to page 8, Boko Haram, that is the kicker. 10,000 people die in military custody. Amnesty International talking there. And then on page 26, privatization of power sector, total failure. This is coming from the Senate. And then moving on to page 10, Farotimi, that is the kicker. Activist group Plan nationwide protest December 10. And you also find that on page 10 of the Vanguard newspaper. We have this lone spot story on the front page, and you definitely will find details on page 31. It says 2026 World Cup qualifiers. Onazi queries Super Eagles commitment. You can trust Vicky Vic to do justice, absolute justice to that. And that's just about the size of the headlines I will be taking across the national dailies for today. Now, this is where you get to call in to share your thoughts on these headlines. And as always, we encourage you to stay civil, avoid the use of vulgar or obscene language, and just stick to the headlines making the rounds across the national dailies of this morning. Please maintain 2 minutes or even less if you can, so we can accommodate diverse views on this segment of the show. The numbers to call are 090-8766-8888 or 090-7353-0044. You can send a voice note to the WhatsApp portal on 090-9705-4450. Please do well to turn down the volume of your radio set so we can hear ourselves clearly. All right. Hello. Good morning to you.
Hello. Good morning.
Right.
Good
Good morning to you, GB.
My name is GB.
Right.
The Senate President or the Senate says...
You didn't state your location, GB.
Okay, it's last camp.
All right, please go ahead.
The Senate President or the Senate say that they have not done the bill. The bill has not been thrown out and it's not suspended. And that's the reality. You know, the naysayers and these bad are mischief makers who are trying to create a mountain out of a mole, saying that the bill is against the North, is denoted no, did not vote for Tinubu, is paying them back with this and that. They are the ones spreading that news. The bill is with the National Assembly talking. It's already with the committee preparing for the hearing, for public hearing. The president only said that the general should meet the committee to iron out some legal terms, some legal clauses that make him more plain and clear to the ordinary man. And these people keep on saying that this bill against the North, that makes it not poor. And I'm telling you, when you the highest number of low earners today are in the North. This bill said that anybody earning below 1 million naira annual pay, which is about 90,000 naira, about 80,000 naira, will not pay any money, any tax to government. Is that way against the poor? The poor today are earning below 90,000 naira in a month. And the bill say no, anybody earning that amount will not pay taxes. You say that is against the poor, against the North. The bill say that if you are a company owner and your revenue is up to 50 million naira in a year, don't pay taxes and do business and many in Kano. These are still small scale businesses. I would not say that that is against the North, it's against the poor.
All right.
This bill will make the smaller companies to get more money to invest in their businesses.
Okay.
And I'm telling you that the VAT that's talking about, the VAT will be based on where you eat, where you consume. All the liquid and sugar, the sugar beverages in Nigeria today are being consumed in the North. It means that they will get more money from beverages and all the cost they make in the North before, they pay the VAT to Lagos. But now we say that it is going to make the poor that they pay the VAT to. I see against the North or against the poor. Right. They are failing in their making. Thank you very much.
Thank you, GB, from Live Camp. But I mean, the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, he has actually given his words, and he said that senators will uphold the yearnings of Nigerians in their deliberations and passage of the tax reform bill. And he has also, challenged governors, traditional rulers, and other categories of Nigerians who have misgivings to attend the public hearing to air their grievances. Indeed, it's been views and counter views from different quarters with regards to the tax reform bills. But again, our fingers are crossed to see how things, would unfold in the days to come. Hello, good morning to you. All right, please do well to call back. The numbers are 090-8766-8888 or 090-7353-0044. A voice note or a message can be sent to the WhatsApp portal on 090-9705-4450. Hello, good morning to you. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, how are you doing?
Yes, good morning.
Hello, good morning, my face.
Yes, good morning to you, Abdul.
My name is Abdul, calling from Suleja, Niger State.
Right, good to have you. Please go ahead.
You see, on my face, can't you see that it's very, very bad? Our military men that are fighting for us in the war front, after retirement, they will be suffering to collect their pension. In fact, when I heard this news, it really baffled me. I'm not happy at all. In some countries, your pension follow you. You don't follow your pension.
Okay.
They will look for you and give you your pension. But why is it like this in Nigeria? Why is it like this in Nigeria, Moefi? Anyway, I want to contribute on this issue of planes. We really thank God that the plane didn't crash. You see, we could have lost a lot of people now in that plane crash also. Absolutely. So please, all these planes, if they want to fly them, please, they should check them very well. Oh. They should check them very well. And the poster of Goodluck Jonathan in Kano, there's nothing bad about it. Goodluck Jonathan is a politician. He may not even know about that poster in Kano. Maybe the lovers of Goodluck Jonathan want Goodluck to contest in 2027. So that's why they are putting the poster.
Yes.
God help Nigeria. God help FM. God bless all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Abdul. Well, it's really very funny. Somehow, you never can tell. The former president, Goodluck Jonathan, could just wake up, one morning and then see his posters, in circulation in Kano, and he would be wondering, what is going on here? Did I really order? Did I give the nod or give the go-ahead, for these posters to be in circulation? But hey, it is what it is. Nigerians actually want who they want. But again, when the opportunity avails itself, is the energy going to be the same? All right, let's hear from you. What are your thoughts? Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Ife.
Yes, good morning.
Moses calling from Suleja.
All right, Moses from Suleja. Good to have you. Please go ahead.
How are you preparing for the Christmas?
Well, we leave everything to God. We take one day at a time, Moses.
Not be hearing that jingle bell anymore from your station.
Oh, no. We definitely will continue. Don't worry.
Okay, that's very good.
Right.
Yeah, I think the issue of Goodluck Jonathan's picture moving around Kano, is the legacy of what you have done.
Okay.
When someone is on seat, you may not know the value until that person left that position or leave that position. So, I think that it's a kind of a concern and also an encouragement to the sitting leaders.
All right.
To see what this man has done. When we were saying those years that this man have done greater things, but yet people have not seen the value until he's no more there. I think now they begin to see the value. So our sitting position leadership, they should begin to emulate the good things that those past leaders have initiated.
All right.
So I believe that with this, I think he may not know or he may know. It even happened in Suleja here during that past election. We begin to see spraying of pictures of him, but he didn't comment on it.
All right.
I believe that should be a legacy of good things he has done.
Okay.
Thank you, Ife.
Thank you
and
very
happy
much.
Christmas in advance.
I wish you the very same, Moses. Thank you so much for calling. All right. But, one would want to bring in, his or her reservation with regards to your submission, Moses. Having his posters and circulation, does it really speak to his antecedents, being a hard-working president at the time, or there is more to it? But anywho, we all are subjected to our opinions, right? Let's see if we can take this one. All right. A miss right there. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mama.
Good morning to you. What's your name and where you're calling from?
My name is John. I'm calling from Suleja.
All right, John. Good to have you. How is Suleja this morning?
There's summertime everywhere.
All right.
Yes, I want to talk about the same poster of Jonathan flying everywhere in the northern part of this country. See, I've had different things about it. This is the same man. Their four names, drunkard, this and that, a failure, the negative president and all that. He lives with the negative is me. Why are you not calling him? Because he have maybe one tenure to attend if he succeeded, if it is true, I succeeded in winning. Why not call another fresh person from the south? we will now come and do 8 years more. You see the political calculation. See, I want to advise Goodluck Jonathan. I love the man so much. I love the man so much. Let him save his name. The little name he have, the integrity he have fire, so that somebody will not come and rubbish it.
Okay.
I don't need him to come. I don't need him to come back. Let every decision we make. See, a man, every decision a man, let him take responsibilities. Thank you very much. If they decided that this one is the best, let them go. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for your line of thought. Okay, we see some messages already on the Facebook page. Etim Edet says, good morning to your mom. If you're looking great this morning, I'm watching you live from Central Area, Abuja, FCT. God bless you with your good work. God bless Eagles FM. Thank you very much, Etim Edet. And also Kennedy Ingi, thank you. Thank you all so much for watching us live on Facebook. And just to remind you that we are streaming also on YouTube at Eagles FM Abuja, so you can hurry now to YouTube and Facebook to see for yourself what is going on right here in the studio. Hello, good morning to you. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Princess, good morning, sorry.
Good morning to you, Obasanjo.
It's Obasanjo calling you from Amali, Niger State.
All right, good to have you. Please go ahead.
Thank God it's Friday.
Absolutely.
It's another long day for us.
Right.
God bless your heart, mate. Yes. Talked about Bamidele, talked about the bill sponsor, Abi.
Yes.
I think that bill, he has already died. Whether, I know if you make your calls now, or if you try to withdraw, you will see some charges. The charges will now look located, including with the VAT. They have started it, and it's not been it's not been a worry top, but it will worry them tomorrow. What is this tax for? Some people say we should go and read this tax. What is that tax for? What is that? Tax is very good, but when you do the right things with the tax, like some of them travel to America, they don't see tax, they see the impact of tax. You are collecting revenue. Like AMAC, you see them collecting revenue. Okay, what have you done with that revenue that you collected? Is it you collect, you want to eat it with your mouth, or you want to make some good social amenities with that tax? Removal of oil subsidy that we said we have been paid some few individuals. What is that? The revenue of that subsidy is to do what? To implement it. Now you are implementing to the governor, the state governor, and earning more money with that money, with that subsidy, and they are not doing anything with that, including with the VAT that you have been talking about. Say tax is very good, but make use of that tax. You go to France, you see tax. You go to Dubai, you see tax. You go to Saudi Arabia, you see tax. You go to America, you see tax. You go to Germany, you see tax. You go to Spain, you see tax. You go to India, you see tax. You are coming back to Nigeria, you are calling in the name of tax. Collecting people. Make use of one person will be stealing that money. Now we are talking about MFLA. How many duplex that MFLA had? This is as the result of it.
All right, Obasanjo.
A single one person will eliminate that money. Honorable Minister, this is a Senate President today. How many billions of naira that in Colombia?
Obasanjo, let's leave it here. Let's leave it here for now.
I leave it there. God bless them. We should be wise. 2027, Tinubu will not go. Thank you.
Well, you never can tell. When you say he will not go 2027, you are not the only, citizen, right, who would want to go out to cast, his vote. So let's see how things actually, unfolds in 2027. I mean, we're still in 2024, by the way. And just so you know that if passed into law, the Nigerian tax bill will usher a significant change to the tax rate for various classes of taxes. Income taxes for both individuals and companies will witness a significant reduction. And this is something that a number of analysts and observers have actually, applauded or lauded, if you like. Now, the threshold for income tax liability has now been increased to 800,000 naira per annum as opposed to the present 300,000 naira per annum. So, in the same vein, the turnover threshold for small companies for income tax liability has been increased to 50 million. Thus, companies with a turnover of 50 million naira are exempted from paying income tax. And under the extant tax regime, the minimum threshold is 25 million naira. Also, the company's income tax rate will regress gradually from the present 30% to 27.5% in 2025 to end at 25% by 2026. Now, this is a developing story, all right, and of course, my co-host Udwak, he actually discussed this, right? I think on Monday or Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. But the thing is, we're still going to have a candid conversation on this particular subject matter, but we're just waiting for more updates, to unfold, so we can bring experts, industry experts, right? If possible, tax experts, to help us get sense of the pros and cons of this tax, reform bills beyond, people expressing, views and counter views with regards to this tax bill across social media and radio, or even TV, if you like. But again, these are your opinions, and we really appreciate the fact that you call every morning to share your thoughts on these issues. The numbers to call are still 09087668888 or 09073530044. A voice note or a message can be sent to the WhatsApp portal on 0909705 4450. Apologies to those I already missed their calls. You might want to call back. I'll quickly, head on to the WhatsApp portal right away to take some of the messages that we have on here because of time. A beautiful morning to you and all the listeners of this beautiful program. My name is Praise James Akpabio, and again I ask, are you Godswill Akpabio's son, or you are his brother? That's just by the way. My sister, it is of a truth that open defecation is not just bad, but considering the health hazard, it is very dangerous. But what is more of a truth is the fact that there are no public toilets. This is the reality. From Gudu Junction to Banex, you won't find one single public toilet along the road. If you drive around the whole of Garki, Wuse, central area, you won't find any structure designated public toilet. The only public toilet you will find are the ones within the market. You won't expect someone who is really pressed and heading to Banex to first connect his or her way to any of the market just to make use of their facility before completing his or her route. My geopolitical knowledge of Abuja metropolis may be wrong, but if you have come across any public toilet stationed along any of these routes, please educate me. Thank you, and God bless you. Indeed, one would want to throw, his or her weight behind your submission that there are areas that we don't have public toilets. So James Akpabio just, reacted to the early morning crusade that we have been heavy on right here, with regards to the end open defecation in Nigeria. And according to him, we really do not have public toilets, across the nooks and crannies of this, our city. But again, this should now be a wake-up call, right, to the relevant, stakeholders, the Ministry of Water Resources, and other agencies or ministries whose responsibility would be to provide these public toilets. I think there are stores, there are supermarkets, there are organizations who actually, they actually build, this public toilet, and they can be accessed, right, by anybody who walk in there, to use their service or services, as it were. So, if we don't have public toilets everywhere, this should be a wake-up call, all right, for the federal government, the Federal Capital Territory Administration to provide public toilets across the city, because it is very, very, very important. Well, thank you so much. I praise James Akpabio for that observation. All right. I mean, these are the feedbacks that we actually, would want to get from you when we talk about, certain issues on radio. And then Prosper from Abuja, he says, doing well is becoming your trademark, and feedback from your audience is a testament. Thank you. Jonathan speaks, floods at Kano. I'm sure former President Goodluck Jonathan is aware leopards don't change their spot and wouldn't play the puppet. Good morning, Lady Omoefe. Prosper from Abuja. He went further to say that tax reform has come to stay. All right. Thank you so much for your line of thought. Chinonso from Suleja says, good luck, Jonathan. Posters in Kano. This comes with a big question mark as well. You never know what you have until you lose it. Tax reform bill, way to go. Chinonso there. Thank you for that message. And then Comrade Ulobasi from Buari Abuja says, good morning, Omoefe. Well done job. Thank you. Honestly, the spike in teenage pregnancy around the country can be squarely attributed to hunger and starvation in the land. It is not only teenage pregnancy that is the problem, but the rate where children of the poor are being turned to beggars. It is alarming. Many of those children are being initiated into one secret cult or the other by their peers that offer them biscuits, granules, and other food items in schools and neighborhoods. To be frank, many parents find it very difficult to cater for their children in this present dispensation. May God Almighty save us from ourselves. Amen. Comrade Ulobasi from Buari there. Thank you so much for that message. And then Abbas reporting from Dutse. Always, he says, good morning, Omoefe. Concerning Jonathan's poster flooding Kano, I'm disappointed with my northern brothers. Really? Why are you disappointed though? He says, why do we always like to go back to our political puke? Are you serious? Good luck, Ebele Jonathan was a complete failure in his tenure, and we should not make such mistake to bring him back. Let us learn from Buhari's debacle. The only person I think can revamp this country is, a seasoned political technocrat, egghead like Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. There you go. Not someone who was so weak during his tenure. I beg, make good luck, Jonathan, go sit down, Jare. Even Atiku will defeat him in the north. Abbas reporting from Dutse. Is it safe to say that your comment or your message, smacks of regional sentiment? But anywho, it's your opinion. Thank you, regardless, Abbas, for that message. And then we have this one here, Henry Oga from Suleja. He says, "Good morning, Omoefe. Good luck poster being displayed in Kano. This is a man they called drunkard." Really? Nigeria is at the crossroad. They don't even know what they want because of suffering. All right, Henry Oga from Suleja there. Thank you so much for that message. At this juncture, let's take this call, and then I will just go right ahead and take the voice notes that we have on the WhatsApp portal. Hello? All right, Miss right there. Please do well to call back if you can. Right? Do well to call back. Let's hear from you what your thoughts are. But let's take a listen to this voice note from Salasi.
Good morning, Omoefe. My name is Salasi, sending this voice note from Garki. I want to talk about Jonathan. Jonathan is not coming back because APC government have tabaru everything. So for that reason, Jonathan is not coming anywhere. Jonathan will never come back. Even his wife have said that. Even him too, he has said that he's not coming back. So all these tax, just like what Obasanjo is saying, they say remove fuel subsidy. They say the country will move forward. There will be healthcare. There will be good road. Where do you see all this is? Even with this tax is for the people to loot. Do you remember the Nigerian Airways, the Nigerian Air that they brought in no less than 48 hours? That aircraft disappear. And how about the former accountant general that allegedly stole 109 billion? They just collect 30 billion and they let him be. How about the former minister of humanitarian? We all know this. So in this regime of APC, now people believe that with the rule of APC, PDP was a saint. PDP, they were saints compared to the level of corruption in this government of APC. So that is it, Omoefe. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for giving me the privilege. Nabodi.
So last now go there to you too. You speak with so much passion. I mean, well, it's okay. As a citizen, you're obviously concerned, with the progression of events. Let's take a listen to this one from Triple D. Good morning to you, Triple D.
Omoefe, good morning. My name is Triple D from Waru. I greet Salasi, I greet Elder Onoja. Their number is not connecting through. Well, Omoefe, we thank God for the gift of life and happy weekend to you. Thank God that you've always been there for us. Let me comment on the lawmaker that they come to APC. Well, my friends, some of them, I pray they are listening. I argue them that most of them will come to APC because there is no system. They are not there for anybody. They are just there for themselves. The issue of retirees sleeping in the finance headquarters, hi God, what a shame. And a leader is watching at these people, somebody that served this country meritoriously for how many years, today is lying down outside. Where is our conscience? May God have mercy on us. Well, the last one is Jonathan Poster, flooded in Kano. We are yet to see a good one. Nigeria will get it right. You can imagine a retiree sleeping on the street. Nigeria will get it right. We are about to get it right very soon by the special grace of God. Good morning, Eagles FM. Good morning, Nigeria.
Good morning to you, Triple D. And, with a resounding amen, we say, yes, to your prayer or prayers, as it were, because well, prayer is key, they say. So when someone prays on air, you should say amen. All right, that's just about what we can do at this point in time. Okay, we have a message here. The entire South should support the tax reform bill, I guess. This is Olukoju. All right, thank you for that message. And then we have a message also on the WhatsApp portal. Terry Kimbi Hundu, it says, good morning, Ife. I'm listening from Nasarawa State. Good luck is an uncommon leader. However, it takes some people a long time to discover this. Removal of subsidy brought unbearable pains. We are waiting to meet Tinubu at the next polls. Okay. You all better gear up, okay? Let's take a listen to this one. All right. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, my sister.
Yes, good morning to you. What's your name and where
Good
you're
morning.
calling
This
from?
is King Kennedy calling from Caro.
All right, King Kennedy, I was even going to talk about you. I mean, you gave a very strict condition yesterday that if we ever report any story that has to do with killings, you wouldn't fulfill your promise, the giveaway
Definitely.
promise. But we didn't report anything
Definitely.
like that today. Nothing
You
was...
did, maybe you dodged, because as I speak to you, there was an attack in my own village yesterday night. Maybe the newspaper didn't carry it, but I tell you the truth, as I'm speaking to you now, I am mourning. As a matter of fact, I am mourning. But by the way, I promise you, any day, any time, not even only your radio station, I wish I'll be around to even entertain all our guests that will be coming on this platform, entertain them free of charge.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
But notwithstanding, let me just go straight to this point. People who have laid down their lives, people who have suffered protecting lives and properties of Nigeria, after our government have used them, now they got no strength. They are frustrating them. They are going to carry mats, sleeping, begging for what is due, what is theirs. Come on. It's an embarrassment. It's a shameful thing to some of us. I see it is it's not encouraging. How do you encourage an average youth that is coming up, that is growing up, that is serving this country? What is the message to their future? That when they get old, when they are no longer useful, to the society, they will come begging for what is theirs? No, now it's not good. Now let me leave it at that. Now, Jonathan issue. You don't know a value of anything until you lose it. That's the nature of life. Maybe that little pot or that little thing that you have in your house, you may not know the value until you lose it. Nigerians have lost Jonathan. Jonathan, if you want to maintain your respect, be here so that we'll be crying and be respecting you. Don't come back.
All right.
Where are our Northerners brothers when he was on the reign? It was all about insults. So you stay with his respect. Thank you. God bless every positive thinking Nigeria. But I still stand. I'm ready to give my giveaway. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kennedy, for your line of thought. And because of time, we just have to leave it here. Vicky Vic already peeped, the studios, and I tell you, the daredevil look on his face, not nice at all. But Vicky Vic, I'm sorry, sincere apologies. All right. So Vicky Vic will be here in a bit, to bring you up to speed with the latest happenings or on the latest happenings in the world of sport. And of course, I'll be back at 9 a.m. to discuss, the price surge, right, in conventional medicine and whether or not traditional medicine is now a better alternative. I'd like to state very clearly that the views expressed by the contributors on the pages this morning were not influenced by Eagles FM 102.3 Abuja. My name is Omo Hefe Peace Osemere. Good morning.
Wake up with the morning show. Weekdays 6 to 10.